He was acquitted in Elijah McClain's death. Now he's getting a big payout from Aurora police to step away from the department.
Colorado reports its first avalanche death of the year. We're learning more about the man caught in a backcountry slide.
These issues do come up, and they are a major inconvenience when they do.
A technical issue turned DIA into a mess. The airport won't say what happened, but it could cause problems for travelers into tomorrow.
A Blake Street legend waiting for the phone to ring. The Hall of Fame votes are in this afternoon, and we'll find out this hour if Todd Helton is headed to Cooperstown.
And it was one of the most beloved movies of the year. Yet a couple of talented people behind Barbie got snubbed. We'll look at who did get Oscar nominations ahead at 4.
Four o'clock on your Tuesday afternoon, and is this the hour where Todd Helton could possibly go into the Baseball Hall of Fame? It is expected to be announced this hour who will be joining the greats of baseball in Cooperstown. That announcement will be coming down sometime in the next 60 minutes. Of course, we will be bringing that to you and have plenty of discussion on hopefully a day for Todd Helton and Rockies fans to celebrate coming up this hour.
Yeah, we can't wait. DIA. Never really easy to get around, but today it was downright near impossible for many. Technical issues caused major delays to get on the trains. Many travelers sharing their view with us. Looking like big crowds waiting to get to the concourses. Problems with the trains are actually rare, but when they do happen, they cause quite the headache.
Yeah, I've been on that train, and there's a woman who will talk to me on the PA system.
Are you delaying the departure of this train, Tom Green?
Could be bad for your popularity today, Kim. Hey, 9 News reporter Mark Salinger has been live out at the airport checking out this serious problem. And Mark, they don't know how long this might take to fix.
Yeah, I can only imagine that there's a lot of people sitting on that train throughout the day, hearing Kim's voice saying, "Stand by, the doors are closing. Stand by, the doors are closing." The trains were not running as usual today. The good news, though, right now is that there are no security lines. It's mostly because at this time of the day, there really aren't a ton of flights, not as many as this morning when we saw these pictures. I want to show you what it looked like this morning. These were the security lines, which are nowhere near where the security lines are supposed to be. Underground in the train tunnels, you know, when you first get on that train, people were piling up to try and get on them. All we're hearing from the airport right now is that they're experiencing what they call technical issues. They won't say what those technical issues are, but we've continued asking.
Passengers are either guided by dense staff to the trains, which are running at limited capacity but still running, or to buses that can take them to their concourses when passenger demand requires it.
Now, the airport says that they're expecting these problems to persist through at least the rest of the day. They say potentially even to tomorrow, though again, they haven't really said what those quote-unquote technical problems are. Tonight on Next, we're exploring more on what the airport can kind of do to alleviate these problems. Of course, if you've flown out of DIA ever, you know that the only way to get to the gates is the train. When the train shuts down, there isn't a whole lot that people can do to try and make those planes. Tom and Kim.
Yeah, people would be willing to walk or anything that's not possible. Does it help that we're at this time of day when there's less people flying? Are they able to do more work, or does it even matter?
Yeah, at this point, we don't know exactly what they're doing. Now, earlier today, in the morning, when we had that big crowd of people coming to make their flights, they did put buses into place to try and take people from the main terminal to the B and the C concourses on buses. I've flown out of here a fair amount of times, and I've never seen those buses. 99.83% of the time, they say that the trains are working. Today was one of those other times.
Oh boy.
Very specific number.
Yeah, if you're in that group, that little percentage, you're like,
0.17.
whatever.
That's not great. All right, Mark, much more to come on this today as they try to iron out the situation out at DIA. Thanks for the update. We turn now to an Aurora police officer acquitted in the death of Elijah McClain will not be returning to the force after all. We're talking about Nathan Woodyard. Now, he will walk away with more than $200,000 as well as 2 years of back pay.
That payout was part of a settlement that required him to resign and prohibits him from suing the city. Investigative reporter Kevin Vaughn joins us from the newsroom with more details.
Kim, the first hint that something was in the works came on January 11th. That day, Aurora's interim police chief said it remained to be seen whether Nathan Woodyard would return to the force. We now know that decision was made the very next day. Nathan Woodyard was the first officer to confront Elijah McClain.
Stop! Stop!
And the only one to testify in his own defense.
I was expecting to get shot, and I thought I'd never see my wife again.
After the verdict came in his trial,
We, the jury, find the defendant, Nathan Woodyard, not guilty of manslaughter, reckless, and the lesser included offense of criminally negligent homicide.
Woodyard was a free man and free to return to work. He never did. This settlement agreement obtained by 9 News showed he resigned after being paid a total of nearly $430,000, $212,000 in back pay, $200,000 in accrued time and other consideration, and $17,000 in medical coverage.
That's definitely a lot of money. That's a big settlement.
9 News legal analyst Whitney Traylor says Aurora faced a decision: reach a settlement or risk a prolonged legal fight.
They have to do an analysis, and they say, what's the cost of defense? What's our exposure? What kind of publicity is this going to get? All of these factors go into play.
We reached out to one of Nathan Woodyard's attorneys seeking comment. We have not heard back. Kim?
So Aurora avoids a possible legal fight, but then what could they have been sued for? I mean, that's the question when you're looking at a payout like this.
That is the question. We don't exactly know the answer. These negotiations were in private, but we do know this. During the trials of these officers, there was a lot of discussion and a lot of testimony about the training given to them by the Aurora Police Department. And in fact, one of the other officers suggested that that training, if it had been different, this incident that ended in Elijah McClain's death might not have happened.
Yeah, we did. Yes, you covered all these cases. Training was constant in the forefront in front of the juries. Okay, thank you, Kevin. An update this afternoon on a missing snowboarder. San Miguel County search and rescue teams say they have found a body. 67-year-old Peter Harrelson from Ophir, south of Telluride, was caught in an avalanche yesterday. It happened in a backcountry area. This is the first known death this year from an avalanche. The sheriff's office is asking people to stay out of the Waterfall Creek area. Avalanche danger has been high in recent days. This is the latest outlook from the Colorado Avalanche Information Center. Right now, there is no avalanche warning issued by the National Weather Service, but most of the western part of the state is under considerable risk.
As far as the metro area, we got up into the 50s today. It felt even warmer than that. No wind today. Kathy Sabin's with us now, and I got to tell you, Hudson enjoyed it. I know I did too. It was beautiful out this morning.
It was nice to have more sunshine. I mean, it was as warm yesterday, but with the cloud cover, it just looked kind of cool and murky. But this is pretty fabulous for late January. I mean, we'll take it. And the winds have been light this afternoon as well. And this warm weather trend looks to continue for the rest of the week. In the high country, it's been perfect as well. We've had periods of light snow coming in, but not enough that we have winter weather or travel advisories. But Kim and Tom were mentioning the avalanche risk in the high country. Even without a watch or warning, conditions are so unstable in the back country, it's incredibly dangerous. When you see these wild temperature swings where we went from the Arctic cold for 5 days into the 50s and maybe even some 60s in the extended period, factor in the wind and those slab conditions, you just have to be so careful and pay attention. We're in between storm systems again, as I mentioned today, so really looking good in Colorado. We're watching a lot of water coming into Memphis and St. Louis, heavy rain coming out of Southern California into the Great Basin with a low which will just skirt eastern Colorado. Dense fog advisories back out for eastern Colorado tonight, western Nebraska and Kansas. Not much to show you on the radar. We have a few clouds drifting in tonight, but generally fair skies this evening, a mix of clouds and sunshine tomorrow, and temperatures will trend above average. So the only travel advisory, I-76 eastbound, I-70 eastbound into that dense fog because of a thin ice or glaze layer that's possible on the roadways. I think Denver's roadways will be fine with temperatures like this. And coming up in Maine weather, how much longer can we enjoy this warm weather trend? We'll talk about that. There's a chance for snow for Denver, and how much more snow on the way for the high country in case you're heading up there to go skiing by the weekend.
Thanks, Kathy. People living in Indian Hills and the foothills are still without clean drinking water. It's been 1 week since the first reports of no water. Indian Hills Water District then reported a leak was cutting off water pressure. Today, there is still a boil water notice. They're making portable water available at the district office. Crews are still investigating leads on the potential leak locations, digging on Parmalee Gulch Road.
A Denver police officer who shot at least 5 bystanders has pleaded guilty in his criminal case. All this stems from a police shooting that was nearly 2 years ago in Lodo after a suspect pulled out a gun.
The judge and even the prosecutor said the officer did not intend to hurt people. Several of the victims there were in court as Officer Brandon Ramos entered his plea. Jeremy Hohola was there too and has a breakdown of the case.
In court today, it was tough because there was a lot of memories rushing back.
It has been a year and a half since a bullet struck Yakala Wilde-Hewitt in downtown Denver.
Physically, I'm still not even close to being 100%.
He's among 6 injured bystanders who were caught up in the chaos of a police shooting in Lodo.
There's an officer involved shooting at 2012 Larimer.
That night, this man, suspect Jordan Waddy, prompted police to fire their weapons when they say he produced a gun. Officer Brandon Ramos was one of 2 officers who shot at Waddy. Instead, Ramos hit 5 innocent people with bullets. A 6th person was hit with shrapnel. Wilde-Hewitt's arm was fractured.
I'm mentally still dealing with anxiety. Public places, or even seeing a police car on the street would throw me into a panic. So yeah, still hard to deal with.
Officer Ramos agreed this morning to plead guilty to 3rd-degree misdemeanor assault. As part of the plea deal, Officer Ramos will not serve any jail time. He'll be on probation for 18 months.
I think that it is a huge step in getting some sort of accountability.
Bailey Alexander was shot in the back.
Yeah, definitely still not 100% either. There's just numbness that I'm assuming will probably be there for forever, and definitely dealing with things mentally as well.
The district attorney and the judge called the case difficult and complex, adding, "It's clear Officer Ramos didn't mean to shoot any innocent victims." However, the victims want better police training as they move forward with the lawsuit through their attorney.
It can never be justified that we're going to endanger innocent folks to protect the community.
And Denver police said in a statement this afternoon they have enhanced their training after this incident. Ramos remains on unpaid leave as internal reviews continue. The district attorney sent a statement saying, in part, none of this would have happened if Jordan Waddy, the suspect, did not carry an illegal weapon that night. Waddy has pleaded guilty to a felony in that case. He faces up to 36 months behind bars when sentenced. Tom, back.
So here we are again talking about police training, just going over that with Kevin Vaughn in the case of Nathan Woodyard, where there's apparently gaps or holes in the way that our police officers are being trained.
Yeah, and it's clear that there has to be training done in response to all of this. Denver police says they have enhanced their training, so we'll see what happens.
All right. Thanks, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.